the University of Maine Alumni Association Alumni Career Award.
I'm NPR Washington correspondent Brian Naylor. George Singal's story begins in Lublin, Poland.
His father and mother, when the Nazis invaded Poland, fought in the resistance.
His father did not survive the war. His mother was pregnant with George, and after the war,
she took her little daughter by her hand and somehow, through courage and perseverance, found her way 1,000 miles through Central Europe, over the Italian Alps, into a refugee camp, where she gave birth to George.
George's mother, his sister, and he, as a baby, emigrated to the United States. They had nothing, spoke little or no English, came to Bangor, Maine. George learned early on the value of education, the value of community, and the value of hard work.
He might have learned the value of luck when meeting the love of his life.
I met George at Camp Lown in Oakland, Maine. I was in my cabin and I was attacked by a bat. This huge thing came flying at me. I ran running out and he said, "I'll get whatever it is." He comes in, he finds a broom, he goes bang, 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 bang. He comes out holding this little thing. And I say, "That's not what I saw."
Singal earned his Bachelor of Arts degree from the University of Maine in 1967, his Juris Doctor from Harvard in 1970, and then began private practice in Bangor.
Every case that George took on, no matter what it involved, became a passion of George's. Not just represent the client, but the knowledge base itself.
Singal soon became a lawyer's lawyer.
And the proof of that is that when lawyers got into legal trouble, when they were sued for malpractice, who did they go to? They went to George Singal.
In 2000, President Clinton nominated Singal to fill the post left by the passing of U.S. District Judge Morton Brody.
He was a favored selection for the court, supported by me and many of his colleagues, our colleagues. I think he had a quiet ambition to be a judge, and he didn't go out and seek it actively, but he was delighted to have the appointment, and it's certainly true that he has served the court very well. When he goes on the bench to consider a case, he's known among his colleagues to be thoroughly prepared, to know the ins and outs of the case, to know the facts that gave rise to the case, and to understand fully what the policy ramifications are of his decisions.
Chief Justice John Roberts appointed Singal to the United States Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court in 2019.
For many of us, concepts of due process, separation of powers, freedom of speech are theoretical concepts. For George, they are secular commandments. They are concrete.
Singal would often share his inspirational story when naturalizing citizens.
I wish everybody could observe Judge Singal preside over a naturalization ceremony. He shares with them, in part, some of his personal history, and he inspires each and every one of those new citizens to achieve whatever they want.
He does not tire of telling his story to new citizens to prove to them that in this country, anybody can be anything that they would hope. George is a talented cook who can tell a perfect joke. He can recite episodes of Seinfeld and The Godfather perfectly. And he always gets to the airport at least an hour ahead of when he needs to be.
Punctual in getting to an appointment and sitting for a portrait.
One day I walked into Judge Singal's chambers and he looked at me and he said, "What are you going to do about your portrait?" And I said, I don't know, I'm not quite ready for it. He said, "You've got to do it now. Do it before your face sags." I called the artist that afternoon.
George is more than George. George is a patriot, and he's somebody that it's a delight to know.
George, you're not a person who seeks recognition, who seeks publicity. By nature, you are a quiet, reserved man. I am so happy for you and your family.
George, on behalf of me and Patty and our family, we want to congratulate you and tell you how very, very proud we are of you.
My friend, my colleague, my mentor, the University of Maine has recognized your sustained excellence as a lawyer, as a judge, and as a human being.
On behalf of all of the law clerks who've been lucky enough to work with you during your more than 20 years on the bench, we just want to thank you. Through your example, we've learned how to be students of the law while teaching others to appreciate the rule of law.
Congratulations, Grandpa. Jake, Olivia, Zach, and I are so proud of you. We're always here cheering you on, and we can't wait to see what you accomplish next. We love you.
I've grown up with you. I've raised our family together with you, and now I'm growing older with you. I am so proud of you today and always. Our entire family congratulates you on having received the 2021 University Alumni Career Award. It's so well deserved, and especially so since I know how much the university has meant to you.
Judge George Singal, the 2021 Alumni Career Award honoree.
I want to thank the Alumni Association for the honor of being given the Alumni Career Award. When I view the prior awardees, I am humbled to be in their company. As I think back to my time in Orono, I realize that this award is not really about me. I see it as recognition of the programs and professors at the University of Maine in Orono who prepared me for where I am today. June is graduation season, and graduates are routinely asked what they learned in college. To be honest, I remember few, if any, of the many facts I learned, but that is, in my view, of no consequence. Albert Einstein once said, quote, that the purpose of a proper education is not the learning of many facts, but rather the training of the mind to think, unquote. In other words, the purpose is to so train the student that education continues forever. At Maine, I was blessed with professors like Mawhinney and Thompson and Schoenberger, all of whom considered teaching a passion and not simply a vocation. They were accessible and they cared about the students. In fact, it was Professor Thompson who urged me to go to law school, even when I resisted the idea. The honors program exposed me to multiple disciplines: history, economics, science, philosophy, and languages, not just to learn the facts, but to develop the ability to observe the connections among all of these disciplines. In a word, to think. Being at the university was academically not easy. Professors challenged our answers regularly. When a student took a position, he or she often had to defend it before the other students. Was it worth it? Yes. I've often stated that I worked harder at the University of Maine than later at Harvard Law School. The common wisdom is that law school teaches one to think like a lawyer. I was one up on that. I had already been taught to think like a black bear. Again, thank you for this honor.